computer. Hi, everyone. Welcome. All right, so we have a special guest today. Stacy Taylor's here.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for the warm waves.
Oh, yay. So excited. So we're going to do quick intros just to let Stacy know who we are again. So hi, my name is Lauren Beatty. She, her, hers, and I live just outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and then I will pass it to you, Stacy.
Hi, I'm Stacy, co-founder of Collab. I'm so excited to be here to see what you all have been building. Pronouns she, her, hers, and I'm in Sacramento, California. And just like full disclosure, I'm not here for any reason. I used to come to all of these and I loved them. And since Collab Lab has grown so much, I don't get to see what the teams are doing. So I just wanted to pop in and like feel connected. So thank you for making me feel connected. I love you all. It's too soon to say I love you. I do. I love you. Okay. I will pass it to Jonathan.
Hey, welcome, Stacy. This is great. My name is Jonathan. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm currently based in Seattle, Washington. And I'll pass it on to Lewis.
Hey, I'm Lewis, and I'm also in Sacramento.
Sacramento.
We never met. Yeah.
I love it.
I will pass it on to Abby.
Hi, I'm Abby. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am currently right outside Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, nice.
I'll go ahead and pass it to Caitlin.
I'm Caitlin. She, her, hers. Hello. We're happy to have you here, Stacy. I am also in Maryland, but I am closer to DC than to Baltimore. But yes, Maryland represents.
So much East Coast stuff happening here.
Yeah, it's great.
That's exciting.
I will pass to Curran.
Hey, Stacy. Curran here. Pronouns are he, his, him. And I am currently residing in Guelph, Ontario, about an hour south of Toronto.
Nice.
Adding to the East Coast.
Yes, love that.
And I'm going to pass it on to Daria.
Hi, I'm Daria, she, her, hers. I'm also based in Ontario.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm in Toronto. So I guess I'm the last one.
There's like lots of grouping here. Did we do that intentionally?
No, isn't that funny?
It worked out really well. Oh,
yep.
Love it. Well, thank you all for having me. I'm so excited to see what you've been building.
Yay. Okay, Jonathan, take it away.
Yeah, let's try Stacy. So I'm leading the demo today. It's probably the same format as last week with Lewis. So who wants to jump first? Who wants to go first? Which pair wants to go first?
So I don't want to volunteer anyone, but for our demo, it kind of maybe it would be a little helpful if the other group went first, because ours kind of like encompasses their feature. But if they're totally against that, I'm not pressuring anyone. I just didn't want to talk about like their feature and, you know, overstep.
Fine. Yeah. Okay, cool. I guess I will go ahead and share my screen. Hold on, let me. Okay. Sorry. I think it's not enabled for me to share my screen.
Oh, I do this every time, don't I?
It's annoying that you can't just change your settings. You have to do it every meeting, but.
Okay. You should be good to go now.
Okay, cool. Let me drag this over. The choice of Zoom, indeed. Okay. All right. Hopefully you all can see my screen. I have had some screen sharing troubles in the past. So if it seems like you're not seeing what I'm saying, please let me know, because sometimes there's a lag. But all right, let me move your faces closer to where I can see. Okay, so for our ticket this week. Curran and I were working on getting the add groceries feature a little bit more robust. So what I will be doing, and again, I don't want to show you too much of what the other teams work, but it is a little bit, there's quite a bit of overlap this week between our features. But in the shopping app, if we add a new item, and I will say, I think I said this earlier this week, I'm gonna add mochi ice cream because that's what I'm craving right now. And we added frequency to the list. So this week, I think I just need it kind of soon, and I'm gonna add the item. And we can see here that my user token, which the other team will look into, ooh, that's ugly, Dive Urbane Monic. And if I refresh our Firestore,
I think Zoom is lagging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. It's like my whole day is being like, I'm not seeing what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me stop sharing and try and reshare and see if
Sure.
that helps. And otherwise, Curran, I might need you to.
Oh, I'm
jump
sure it'll
in.
be fine with the
Same.
stopping of the sharing. Have you all noticed that too on Zoom, sometimes when you optimize for video, it's worse than when you don't optimize for video?
Yeah, it's
Like, why did you ask me that if you're not going to do it?
yeah, it's very annoying. Can you all see Firestore now? On
It's
this?
coming, maybe. It says it's still black screen and says you've started
Okay.
sharing.
Okay. So sorry.
Sometimes
It's
takes
annoying that
time.
the Zoom controls also don't tell you when
Right?
there's issues
Mhm.
with the video.
Somebody
I'm
should
just
tweet
gonna-
at them. Still not
It
seeing
doesn't work.
it.
Okay, Curran, are you able to maybe share your screen, and I can send you the link for Firestore so that maybe we can.
I got the thing.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just looking up mochi ice cream.
Oh yeah, mochi ice
Oh
cream's
my gosh.
delicious.
I have
if anyone
no clue
hasn't
what
tried
that
it.
is.
So chewy
Okay.
and delicious.
It's
Mm.
yeah, I love it. I'll
Okay.
stop sharing so that Curran can share.
It's like
I
a little
will-
pocket full of sunshine.
I will share.
Thank you.
Mhm. Can everyone see this?
Looks
Yep.
good.
Yes.
Perfect.
Great teamwork, y'all. I love it.
Alrighty, let's go to Caitlin's part.
Yeah.
Just let me know what you want me to do, or I'll try to
Sure.
follow along as much as possible.
Sure. Yeah. Maybe if we show your local storage and we find your token, so it's near browse vend, and maybe if we add a grocery so that we can see what is being attached to it in the Firestore. Yeah,
All right.
whatever you want to add, Curran.
Mochi
Yes.
ice cream,
Yes, everyone should
Just
add
for
mochi
you.
ice cream.
and it's going to be a regular thing. So
Awesome.
there you
Okay.
go.
And
It's gonna
then it's in our list. And if we check out Firestore, we can see.
Wait, I thought I had it up. I'm so sorry.
I think you do. Yeah.
I
It
did,
looks.
right?
It looks
Ah.
like you have a tab open.
I hate the Zoom controls so much.
Oh yeah.
How do I?
You can drag them over the Zoom controls if you like can't see.
There you go.
Okay,
Oh, I can?
perfect.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can move them. So then, yeah, if we just open up the
That one.
document, yeah, it looks like you're on the right one. And we
And
find the mochi. There we go.
oh, there you go.
Okay, so we can see that the frequency was also stored in Firebase of 7 days, and then as well as a last purchase date, which is currently set to null, which presumably will be tweaking in the weeks to come. But yeah, you can see there that it all got saved to Firestore and tied to the unique user token that Daria and Abby will be telling us about more. And yeah, I guess, thanks, Lauren. Yeah, Curran, if you want to maybe jump into the code and show what you've been doing, then I'll pass it to you.
Oh, okay. So you want me to discuss the code for this one?
Yeah, I can talk through the code very briefly. The biggest problem we had for the item list was figuring out, interestingly enough, that at creating it, making the code, the JSON object display as an unordered list sounded like the simplest thing to us, and it stumped us, and Curran had to find a way for us to convert the JSON object into the unordered list by doing a little bit of messing around with that JSON object. But yeah, as you can see here, that was the main change that we made to this code this week, was changing it from a string into an unordered list. And I think that's it for the most part, unless there's anything that you wanted to add in, Curran.
Oh, no, just because it was a stringified JSON object, we just had to remove the quotes. So we used a little bit of regex. We will not take credit for this. This was a simple Google search, but it did the trick. All righty. Thank you for
Thanks,
that,
Curran. I will pass it to you.
Okay, so back to this. The other half of our tasks this week was adding to the add groceries component. So as you can see over here, Caitlin kind of pretty much showed the whole functionality of it. So you just type in, I don't know, toothpaste. And then you just click kind of soon. And then once you add the item, it will automatically populate on the list. Now, there were a couple that, like, this was trickier than I thought it was going to be, as demonstrated by the long list of issues. Like, I don't know if anyone has done this, but if you click show more here, by the way, I love this. This is ridiculous. Anyways, so there, one of the things that we were having trouble with over here was actually form validation. A lot of the default. So we were trying to figure out whether we wanted to associate a state with the form validation, the required prop into each of the input elements. And the main point of contention was the fact that the app did the following. I'll just show you. I think it pretty much showed it previously, but let's just go so, and then let's go soon. And then automatically it starts highlighting. Once you submit, it clears it, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. But then it highlights it as it, like, there's something wrong there. You did something wrong. So I thought maybe playing around, basically disabling that required component would do the trick, which it kind of did, but then it added more issues with it. So for example, I think Daria pointed this out originally, where if you were to click add item and not fill it out, it would have originally submitted it. So the keeping required as simple and not having a state associated with it kind of just dealt with it. But the problem is that if you actually add a white space, you can submit it. And you will see that right there. I can't believe I got that on the first try. Huh. That was lucky. Anyways, so that is something that I would like to continue talking with the group about, and hopefully we can come with a consensus to make it a more smoother experience for the user. And another thing that I would actually like to add to this as a feature, and it wasn't actually the wireframe, is giving the user a bit of feedback. The user was given feedback, and I think this is part of the default browser feedback that you get, unless Caitlin, please correct me if I'm wrong. But if you basically do it like this, it says, please fill out the field. I would like something like that, where it tells the user that it's been submitted. That has been mentioned in the wireframe, and I'd like to actually do that because I think that's great. In terms of the code, in the code, we've got a bunch of handlers. Let's start from the top over here. So the grocery item and set grocery item. So these are all this is all the data that we're actually getting from the form, and we're using the useState hook for that. And when we're actually submitting it in Firebase in this submit grocery item form, we're basically submitting it under the item name key. And you can see the frequency that the user submits and the last purchase date. Now, we have associated, basically this is the overlap with the other group. We're pulling from local storage the user token that the other group generates. That's what we're actually using when we are submitting to Firebase. So you can see over here db.collection user token, which would be these tokens over here. That's one thing that's one big assumption that we made as a group, and we ran it by Lauren during the office hours that each user token is going to be an individual collection, and that's how we're going to be setting up our database. And that's pretty much it for me. Is there anything that you'd like to add, Caitlin?
No, that was awesome. Thank you. And thanks for jumping in there, Curran. Yeah, I guess now if we can open up for questions, if anyone has them.
Such amazing work, Curran and Caitlin. That was so beautiful. I loved it. One thought that I had, beautiful code and beautiful demo. And I probably am repeating something that somebody has already told you, but one thing that I would consider if I were you, because I see Lauren says you all are always thinking of improvements, is when you do think of these things, create an issue in GitHub for that thing and detail exactly what you would like that user experience to be or where that enhancement you want to make is, because when you do go to look for a job, it's not only important that you know how to code, you know how to collaborate, but it's also important that you're looking at the future of your product and you're considering how users interact with it. And if you can show that you can create these beautiful feature requests or like document a bug, that's like next level stuff. So get that in GitHub. You can tackle that issue later down the line, or it can just sit there as an issue and a like artifact of how you approach your work as a developer. So, great work, team.
Yay, thank you. That's very helpful advice.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. I was reading through the PR how you dealt with the form to make sure that one of the radio buttons is always checked, and how you added a field set. And I thought that it was really great use of form elements. So good job.
Thanks, Dara.
Yeah, I don't have a question, but just like a comment, like of your demo, you guys. So like something went wrong and you just like immediately you're like so smooth with it. You like kept going. Me, like I probably would have had like a mini panic attack because that's like kind of how I feel about demos. But you guys did great. Just wanted to say that.
Yay, thank you.
Great, that was awesome. Does pair 2 want to show off their stuff?
Yes, I will be sharing my screen. Okay, so first, just to remind you of our criteria for our feature this week. Basically, we needed a button or a link on the home screen that allows the user to create a new list. And then clicking on that button would generate a new token and then save it to our local storage. Once the token has been created and saved, the user is redirected to the list view. And for users who do have a token already saved in the local storage, when they are on the app, it should redirect immediately to the list view. So it wouldn't allow for them to click on that button that says to create the list. So let me get it up and running and demo it for you. And let me know when you can see it.
We can see there it is.
Wonderful. Okay, so as it pops up, you can see what is in our component app. So kind of the home page, welcome to your smart shopping list. And I just wanted to go into the local storage and show you, as of right now, we have no token. So yes, as you can see, there's no token in our local storage. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a new list. And as of right now, we don't have any groceries. I'll add one in a little bit with our lovely fellow teams feature they made. But let me show you that in the local storage, you can see that we have a little auth token right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a grocery just so it's not. I'll go back to the grocery list. And so we have an item in there. And I'm going to show you that because we have that auth token, it's going to redirect immediately to the list and it's not going to go to the welcome app. And yes, my favorite ice cream as well. Kind of controversial, I know. It reminded it of when I saw toothpaste and people say it's basically like eating toothpaste, but I don't believe that. So let me show you if I try even this way to go to the welcome page, that it won't let me. It'll automatically redirect me to list. And also, if I go ahead and start it again, I just want to show you that it's going to pull from local storage. It'll pull my list up. Eventually it will. And you'll see I still have mint chocolate chip ice cream in there. And if I go into my local storage, the same user token is right there. So that is our app. And I believe I'm actually gonna give it off to Daria right now. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing.
Thank you, Abby. That's an amazing demo. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through the code. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep, looks good.
So for this feature, the first thing we did was we created this welcome component. And in it, we used the function getToken that actually was provided to us in the library. So we didn't have to write that. And we used it to generate this random token, put it in local storage, and then redirect the user to the list component. And I'm going to talk about the redirect in a second, but our welcome component had this button that on click calls this function store token that basically goes through the steps that I just explained. And the redirect is actually something that we had a lot of trouble with because we didn't know how to do it. And initially we tried to do window replace, which reloads the whole page and opens the link that we provide to it. But since we are using React, we don't want to have constant reloads on our page. Louis suggested that we use the use history hook that comes with React Router DOM. So with this hook, we generated the history object. And what it does, it basically stores all the pages that the user visited. And by pushing a new slug into this object, we make the app redirect the user to this page. So that's what we did here. Then in our app.js, we used this constant has token to see if there is a token in local storage. And so if there is a token, then it gets assigned to this constant. And if there is nothing in local storage, then it is undefined. And here in our route for the home page, we use this constant to define whether we are rendering the welcome component if there is no token, or we are redirecting the user straight to the list, to the grocery list if there is a token. So that's basically how we created this feature. But I would also like to talk about tokens.js, which is something that we didn't write, but we thought that it would be interesting for everyone to at least try and figure out how it works. So I'm gonna do my best to explain it. So please don't judge me. Anyway, so this function uses something called diceware. Diceware comes from cryptography, as far as I understand. And it's a long list of English words that all have a matching 5-digit number to them. And the reason it's called diceware is because you, when you want to pick random words, you use a dice. So you roll a dice and you get a digit between 1 and 6. And you roll it again, you get another digit. So you write them down and you end up with 5 random digits. Then you pull up your list of words and you find the digit and the word that corresponds to it. Then you repeat as many times as you want. In our case, we do it 3 times, so we end up with 3 random words. So this is what this code basically does here. So it calls this random integer function, get random int. And then this function does some interesting stuff. So first it checks if there can be, if we are in some secure environment where we can establish this crypto object. And if we can, then it goes through this whole process of generating a cryptographically secure random number. And if we cannot do that for some reason, then it just uses the math random function to also generate random number. And then we get these random numbers and we use them to pull words out this gigantic words array that has almost 7,000 words in it. And that's how we end up with the token. And an interesting thing that I learned from reading this code is that math random is actually not a super secure function, because as you know, it generates a random number between 0 and 1, and it does that by following a well-known algorithm. So if there was a hacker that really wanted to steal somebody's shopping list, they could do that by following the same algorithm that math random follows. So instead, this code tries to use this method, get random values, in this cryptographic context, which is more secure because it does not follow a particular algorithm that is well known, and because the number is much longer, it's not between 0 and 1. So it's much harder to actually kind of guess it or hack it. Yeah, and so by going through this process 3 times, we get our random 3-word combination, and it is used as the token. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to share.
Holy wow, that was amazing.
I know, I'm
Yes.
saying, I don't think that I've ever seen anybody go try to figure that out. That's incredible. This kind of curiosity too is another thing that's like super next level, like going a step above and beyond to just explore and learn more. It's really inspiring. So great job.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have questions? I hope not, because I'm not sure I can explain it any further.
I was just wondering, like, how did you go about figuring all of that out, Daria? Did you just, yeah, what was, did you just Google?
So there were a lot of helpful links here in this code. So I just followed all of them and I read it. And there was this one thing written by Andrew, apparently, which actually follows the same process to generate random word combinations for people who want to use them as passwords or something. And there was just a great example that made it more clear how the whole thing works.
That was really awesome. Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, not really a question, but just a comment. Just want to say, well done, Abby, Daria. That was awesome. I just learned a bunch of new things. So that was fantastic.
Yeah,
Great,
so
thank you.
Cool. So that's the demos done, right?
That's it. Nice work, everybody.
Well
Wow.
done.
Fantastic demos. Oh my gosh, we get to do our first retro today. I'm excited. Some people have already started contributing. Yay. So those were fantastic demos. Let's take, let me get rid of my little zoomy here. Let's take 7 minutes. So retrospective, I explained this in our channel, but it's really about thinking about the work that we've done, giving shout outs to our teammates for things that they really helped us with and for how awesome they are, and think about the things that we did that were really productive, that helped us, and then maybe what got in our way, things that all of us can do to help the team move forward better. And then from that, we'll make some action items based on what we come up with as a team. So let's take, I'm going to say 7 minutes. I'm going to set a timer and go ahead and add some cards. I did put the link to the retro board in the chat. So it is in there. And that is it. 7 minutes. Ready? We're about halfway done with our 7 minutes. All right, I think let's get started. And if you're still working on some cards, that's totally fine, but I want to make sure we have time for a nice robust retro and time to go over issues too at the end. So we'll start with appreciations, and then we'll go around and I'll ask you to read your card so that you get the chance to express all of your ideas yourself. And I guess we'll start from the top down. So Caitlin, why don't we start with you? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me share my screen. Reshare. Yeah.
Sure. So you said just read it and
yeah, and expound if you like.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I just said that Abby's demos are so amazing. I love that she starts them with a review of the issue to set the stage, something that I want to try doing too, because it is super helpful for adding context. Yeah, I think just jumping straight into the demo, sometimes it's hard to remember exactly what that group's issue was. And so just reminding us, these were our goals, and then this is, how we implemented it is really helpful for making sure that we're following along and paying attention to the right things. So I think she does a great job and should give herself more credit for that.
Yes, very good. Corinne.
Yeah, before I get to Matt, I just wanted to add, same thing as what Caitlin said. I think Abby does a great job in structuring it very well. I make arrangements for my stuff, but then I end up flying by the seat of my pants. So like all of it goes out the window. So I really appreciate that. For my card, I said so much love and appreciation for the mentors for taking the time during the week to give feedback right away. So I think everyone, I was just amazed at how fast you folks were giving us feedback and the in-depth feedback. I think that was amazing. So thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you. Abby.
Yeah, so Daria was amazing to work with this week. She was trying something that I wasn't understanding in her code, and she was really patient in talking me through what she was trying to do. So there was a part in the code, I believe actually it was just one of the functions that we were trying to work with, and she had suggested something, and I just like wasn't understanding fully like how to read the code, and she was just really patient, being like, oh, like this is what I'm doing, and this means that. So that was like, I enjoyed that, and that was incredibly helpful.
Awesome. Yeah, I can totally see that. Jonathan.
Yeah, so two-parter. So big shout out to both pairs for amazing demos. And then especially to Daria for going above and beyond digging into that token generated code. That was awesome. And then thank you to both Lauren and Lewis for providing such amazing code review feedback and such like prompt code review feedback as well.
Awesome. Caitlin.
Yeah, I said I have been learning so much from all the mentors' code reviews, both in terms of technical guidance, but also how to do code reviews with emotional intelligence. So yeah, you all have been giving really helpful advice, but also the way you have been giving advice, I feel like has been a really great model for us to follow and draw on those skills moving forward. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Corinne.
Yeah, so I think Jono pretty much pointed this out. Daria explaining the token generator. I think like that Daria you have a lot of strengths, but like one of the things I really appreciate about you, and I saw this in your project, the paint, what's it called again? There's this really cool part.
Yeah.
Painter, yeah. That you are very curious in seeing how like the inner workings of a lot of the libraries, like what's going on there. So, and I think, yeah, that's really amazing. I really envy you for that.
So much.
Nice job. And then for me, Lewis has been just such a 5-star mentor on Slack, just always jumping in on Slack and helping people and jumping in on code reviews. Super helpful. Jonathan, such a great attitude. Love working with you. I love how you encourage people to just try stuff and see what happens. And you have that attitude too. I really love it. And this team is so supportive of one another. I just love this team so much already. And I had such a great time during office hours. Thank you, everybody. Caitlin.
So I said Curran managed to both get a new job this week, which is very exciting. And on top of that, he was also really coming through for our team, he did a really great job of incorporating the feedback from code review into our PR. I know we kind of, we were pair programming and kind of left it with just a tiny bit more to do. And we thought it would be a little bit of work, but it turned out to be quite a bit that he was doing a really great job. And he was a great partner this week. So thanks, Curran.
And Daria.
So Abby was super patient with me when I asked her to type and move and delete some code and type it again a dozen times, and because it was not super straightforward to ask how to do something in our code. And so we were trying a ton of different things, and she was just super patient with me, and I'm very grateful for that.
Nice. Yay, everybody. All right, what went well? Caitlin, you are at the top.
Yeah, I think this is kind of reiterating some of what's been said before, but I really enjoyed seeing how the code review for our issues unfolded this week. It was really cool to kind of see that kind of cycle that we had discussed of, getting some feedback, incorporating it, getting some more feedback and incorporating it. It was really cool to see, a real world application of how that works. And I think it went really well.
For avocados, I love it. Abby.
Yeah, so I was just talking about how how responsive and helpful everyone is in the PRs. It's like so great to like see everyone like just jumping on and saying like, oh, like maybe this will help, or like you're doing such a good job at this. And yeah, I don't know, this is just a great like positive group. I've never felt any sort of way when someone's like, hey, like maybe this, like it's just people just give feedback in such a great way here. I don't know how else to say it.
Absolutely, 100% with you. Corinne.
Unmute. Okay. yeah, I think it was pretty self-explanatory. Loving my group. As Abby said in the previous on the previous card, like I feel like I'm growing with the group, and there's a lot of positive vibes going on around here. So yeah, loving every moment of it. Thank you, everyone.
Jonathan.
Yeah, kind of adding on to my demo comment, but yeah, I think the demos are running like super smoothly. Even if there are hiccups, you have all just kind of worked through it. So yeah, keep it up.
Absolutely. Daria.
So I've been enjoying both pair programming and also reading through PRs, and especially the other team's PR was super informative this week. And it was really nice to see how everyone just, how different people think and how different people approach the same problem. So I think that I've been learning a lot from seeing others code. Yeah.
Cool. I'm actually piggybacking off of something that Caitlin wrote, but I love having syncs on Saturdays. Sunday is like such a downer day for me. So it's really nice like to have this on Saturday, and then I have like one less commitment on Sunday or something. And so I don't know, it sets off my week a little bit better. I love it. Great code review by everyone, excellent communication in Slack. We're always knowing when people are ready for PRs, and just super positive vibes. And I love the noise and emojis. Caitlin.
Yeah, I also really like doing syncs on Saturdays. I think it wasn't an intentional decision on my part when we were deciding what days to do the syncs, but it's kind of nice because I've been able so far to do a chunk of work on Sundays, and it makes my my work week a little more manageable that way. So yeah, I think we lucked into that one, but I like it.
Yeah, that's nice. Cool. All right. So what are things that we can improve? Lewis, you're first.
Cool. Yeah, I just want to say, feel free to ask questions in Slack about your task. Like if you have any questions, like technical questions or anything that you want to work through with us, it definitely works, especially for the PRs this week. One of them had 60 comments, which is amazing, but it's kind of hard to communicate effectively in a PR. So making a thread for a particular question, like how to reset a form or something, could work a little bit better. And we're all, even though you're split up into partners, we're all a team, so we can all help each other out.
Yep, absolutely. Jonathan.
Yeah, plus one to what Lewis said. That was awesome. But yeah, I mentioned would love to see like design decisions such as creating a new collection for each user token be documented somewhere. I think it helps like code reviewers who potentially weren't in those meetings understand the code a little bit better, and then also for future self in case you forget why you made that decision in the first place, to look back on. I'm not sure what this actually looks like, but yeah, still playing out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We have a learning module, I think 2 learning modules away on communication for developers, and we talk a lot about documentation. So kind of learn how to do that kind of thing later. So I just want to, this is probably already happening, but I just want to raise awareness. So once code goes into code review and you're starting to address feedback, just really sync up with your partner, make sure that like they're cool with your changes, or they're okay if like you're going to jump in and just fix a couple things. We just want to make sure that everyone feels that they're participating and that there's a balance. That's been an issue before. So I just want to preempt that, I guess. Daria.
Yeah, so I realized that sometimes it's better to send the docs for something that I'm already using than just randomly Googling an answer to a problem. Because when we were trying to figure out the redirect with Abby this week, I think that we were both stressing out a little bit about not being able to find the answer, and we just started Googling like randomly, and we found something that was not an optimal answer. But had we just read the docs more thoroughly, we could have found it there. I mean, with docs for React Router DOM. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a panic Googler. I like panic Google first, and I'm like, oh yeah, check the docs, Lauren. Same thing. Okay. Awesome. Really nice. So let's see. Action items. Lewis, why don't you go ahead and read what you have in there?
Yeah, sure. So over time, our app's gonna get more complicated, and we'll probably run into bugs and stuff. So if we want, we can make issues for those, and over the course of the project, if we have time, we can always address them.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, what Stacy said too. Just like feel free to create issues on the project board. And then Daria, this is a good one.
Yeah, so there has been some ideas and questions about the UI, and we aren't going to work on the UI until the last 2 weeks. So I was going to suggest that maybe we could start some sort of space where we could just put all those ideas for now and just start collecting like design references and whatnot, some examples of UI that we want to use, so that we wouldn't just have to go through this gigantic task in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to put some documentation. It's hard to talk and type at the same time. All right. So I'm adding a card here. 2 of the big takeaways that I'm seeing are feel free to create issues as they come up, because I know you all are always thinking about, you're thinking ahead and thinking about what things could be better. So let's create issues going forward. And then maybe somebody can start, you could start like a project board, or you could start, there's like a wiki in GitHub. You could use that for documentation, or someone could start just a Google Doc or a Notion document to just start brain dumping ideas as you think of them. So that's maybe another idea for this week. Cool. All right. Yeah.
There's also, oh, sorry.
Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say, I think there's also like a GitHub discussion board. I'm not sure like if that's enabled for all projects, but that is potentially also another place that we could store ideas and questions.
Oh, cool. Where do you know where you find that?
I think you have to enable it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it might be in the settings. Let me quickly Google it.
Oh yeah. You have the power. Maybe options.
Features, under features. Is that features? Nope.
Oh, am I finding it? We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Excellent retro. That was really nice. Super loving this group. Let's pass it off to Lewis to go over the issues for the coming week.
Okay, cool. Do we have a demo today or no? I mean, learning module?
Nope.
No?
Retro
Okay.
this week. Yep.
Okay. So let me share my screen. Let's see. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So for the first task for this week is, as a user, I want to join an existing shopping list so I can share a shopping list with another person. So now that we have the tokens, what we want to be able to do is have someone enter a token that already exists. And when they enter it, it'll save it to their local storage and show the user the list that matches that token. So that way you can co-manage a given list. The acceptance criteria will be when a user does not already have a token in local storage. On the onboarding or home screen, there'll be a form that you can use to enter a token. And then once you enter the token and hit submit, it will save the token to local storage and give them control of the list. So they can also add items to it. And then on submit, it'll show an error if the token does not exist. If they get the error message, it can allow them to try again or create a new list. So that's the first task. And the second task will be, as a user, I want to be alerted when I'm entering an item that is the same as something already on my list, so I can avoid duplicate items. So when you enter the form, it's going to show an error message if the item is the exact same name as the existing item. And it will also show an error message if the user tried to submit a new item but it has the same name as an existing item with capitalization and punctuation removed. And then the user's original input should be what's saved in the database. So the validation will be checking, will remove capitalization and punctuation, but then it'll save with the original formatting. So those are the two tasks for this week. Does anyone have any preference for which one they want to work on?
Do you all know who your pairs are this week? It's Caitlin and Daria. Caitlin and
like
Daria.
whoever we haven't worked with. Yeah.
Yeah, Caitlin and Daria, and then Corinne and Abigail are our partners.
One thought that I want to share when like your mentors ask you, is there anything that, does anybody want to snag one of these? Like feel totally confident snagging the ones you want. If you think there is some kind of angle that you want to take in your like development career, try and focus on that. So like, I can see here that one of these is very like UI focused and the other one is going to maybe entail some like regex and stuff. So if it's like there's something you're really interested in and you'd like to have specifically for your portfolio or whatever, feel free to step up and take that. Nobody's going to be mad about it and you get to your goals the way that you want. So and if you don't care, then we'll just randomly assign.
Like, I mean, Abby, do you have a preference?
I feel like, and this might sound weird, but
Mhm.
I kind of want to do 5 because I feel like I don't know, like I have no idea how to do that one right now, like just off the top of my head. So just like,
Okay.
yeah, want to
Yep.
learn.
So that's the one you want to do, or you want to do the other one?
I want to do 5.
You want to do 5. Okay, let's do it.
Cool. So then 6 will be Daria and
And me.
Caitlin. Yep. Awesome.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right. Any questions? Any questions about the issues?
So for I think it was, yeah, it was 5. That, yeah, 5's the one where you're sharing the token. It says something about joining. You're not joining multiple accounts, right? You're just sharing a token so someone can actually use it on a different computer or a different browser.
Yeah. Yeah. So when with the new input, you're gonna enter in a token, and then what you'll do is you'll ask Firebase to find that document with that token in it, and then pull down the grocery list and use that token in the local storage.
Gotcha. Yeah, understood. Thank you.
For issue 6.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say, Corinne, so imagine that like I wanted you to go shopping for me and I have a shopping list already and I have a token. I'd be like, hey, Corinne, my token is blah, blah, blah. You could enter it into that input and then you'd have the list.
Perfect. Yeah. It's just the join word kind of confused me for a second. That makes sense.
that's beautiful clarification of the acceptance criteria and something that you'll for sure run into on the job. So it's an amazing question.
I had a quick question about issue 6. Just to kind of visualize what we would be doing. So let's say the user already has popcorn with a lowercase p in their shopping list, but then they type in popcorn with an uppercase p. We want to give them an error message that tells them that they already have popcorn in their list. And then the last bullet point is that saying that if they say like, yes, add it anyway, then you're just saving the original, like they just typed in capital P popcorn. And so that's how it should be saved in the database. Is that what that bullet point means?
Yeah, that's what that one means. Yeah, exactly.
I also have a question about this. So let's say a user has an item that is called just coffee and they want to enter like 1 pound of coffee. Is it considered the same or a different item?
I mean, technically, we're not validating for that because it would count as a different item. So yeah, I would just leave it as is for now, and then we can probably add like an issue or something to add that into a future task.
Okay.
And I'm assuming looking for spelling errors. So if someone writes coffee with like one less, I don't know. I think does it have 2 E's? Maybe. I think it does. So like we're not. That's just a stretch goal, right?
That's out of scope.
Yeah.
Caitlin, going back to what you asked, like popcorn versus popcorn with a capital P. For this particular issue, you do not have to do something like, do you want to add it anyway, right? So let's say they try to enter into their list popcorn with a capital P. The feedback can just be, hey, you already have that in your list. You don't need to add it again.
Okay, perfect. So then in that case, the last bullet point would mean that like whichever one they entered first is the one that will be saved to the database.
Yep. And then this also goes to like whatever they enter. Yes, whatever the user enters should be saved. So if they enter coffee for the first time in their list with a capital C, enter it in the database with a capital C.
I think this is one of those ones where there is a lot of room for enhancements and feature requests and stuff. So if you come up with good ideas and you discuss them, like do what we were saying and like make a feature request in a GitHub issue for the future. Because I do like that idea of like enter it anyway, or you know, like some extra fun bells and whistles like that. But it's definitely out of scope here.
Yeah, that would be a lot for 1 week, probably.
That would be a lot. Yeah.
Yep.
And like we said this before, and like something to be mindful of is one of our purposes here at Collab Lab is to like break down a lot of barriers into tech. And one of those is time commitments of programs like this. And so we try and really confine it into the 5 hours that we say that it should take. So if you do feel like it's taking way longer than 5 hours, please let us know so that we can either find the program or, you know, like work together to solidify our time management skills or something, because we don't want you spending all of your time on this. You have so much else to do, but we do want you to learn and grow and feel supported. So here for you.
Yay. All right. Thanks, everyone. What a wonderful weekly sync. Thank you for being our special guest, Stacy. So great to have you.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun to see. Y'all are doing a solid job, and I have nothing else to suggest. It's beautiful. I'm impressed, and I love it. So great work.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you on Slack.
Thanks, everybody. See you around.
Bye, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.